Hey everybody, Sevuhl here, and today we're going to be doing the FriendZone machine from HacktheBox. Relatively easy box. Once you get past DNS and you're able to authenticate to the administrator site, we can do a little bit of LFI to pop a PHP reverse shell. From there, we're able to get the user flag, and with a little bit more snooping around, we can find some SSH credentials. From there, we can get an actual TTY shell and do a little bit more snooping around to see that root is actually running a program, a Python program at that every few minutes, that we have the ability to edit and send a system command to copy the root flag into a directory that we can actually read from. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. We can start with an Nmap scan, so Nmap SC for save scripts, SV for enumerate all versions, and OA for output all formats. We'll call it FriendZone. FriendZone, if we spell it right, and the address is 10.10.10.123. I've already ran it, so let's go ahead and give it a look. And it looks like we have port 445 open. We have HTTPS on 443. Looks like we have some more SMB shares here, 139. We have HTTP on 80. DNS on 53, SSH, and FTP on 22 and 21. So while we're in the terminal, we can go ahead and enumerate those shares for SMB, get some ideas of what kind of access we have and maybe where they're located. So we can do that with an Nmap script. It's going to be SMB enum shares.nsc. We have to specify the port with -p, that's going to be 139, and then the target address, which is going to be 10.10.10.123. I've already ran that as well, so let's go ahead and give that a check. It is going to be SMB, and we see that we have 5 shares here. 2 of the most notable ones is going to be general and development. We see that we have anonymous read and write access, and the path is in the SC directory, so that's perfect to know. We can go ahead and enumerate a little bit further by just using SMB client, the -n, to say not to ask for a password, and then go ahead and put in the address, which is going to be 10.10.10.123, and we'll start with general. And we can go ahead and do a listing there. We see a creds.txt file. Let's go ahead and get that file. And now we can go ahead and check that out. It should be on our local machine here. And it is. Let's go ahead and cat it out. And we see it's just some admin credentials, so we can go ahead and store those for later. And let's go ahead and check out development. And it looks like this is just going to be a place for us to upload a PHP shell later in the future, so we don't have to even worry about that for now. So nothing useful there. We'll go ahead and head over to the HTTP site. So 10.10.10.123. Just kind of laughing at myself for messing that address up. So have you ever been friend zoned? If yes, try to get out of the zone. Call us at 9999999. Email us at info@friendzoneportal.red. So that's probably the most notable thing on this pretty bland site. We know that DNS is open, so we can go ahead and give that a shot here. So let's go ahead and bring our terminal back up. So Nslookup, we're going to do server 10.10.10.123, and we're going to do friendzone portal.red, and we get a response there. Let's try friendzone portal.htb, no response, and friendzone.htb, no response, friendzone.red, and we get a response. So perfect. We can do a dig off these 2 addresses and see if we get anything further. So let's clear that, dig axfr, and we'll do friendzone portal.red at 10.10.10.123. And it looks like we get admin files, imports, vpn.friendzoneportal.red. So that's four sites there. So that's a pretty nice little dig there. And we'll also do the same for friendzone.red. And we just get administrator1.friendzone.red. So what we can do, for the sake of saving time, we'll just go ahead and add etc host. We'll just go ahead and add administrator1, as that's kind of the only one that we need. So we'll go ahead and 10.10.10.123 and administrator1.friendzone.red. Perfect. We'll add a space to make it a little cleaner. We'll go ahead and write that to the file. And great. Well, let's go ahead and visit that site now. It's going to be HTTPS administrator. I'm having a real problem today. Administrator1.friendzone.red. Perfect. So we're faced with a login form. We can only assume that that creds.txt file is our only hope. copy that, I can deal with putting in admin, and we successfully authenticate, and it tells us to visit the dashboard.php. So let's go ahead and append that to the end of the URL here. And we see Smart Photo Script for FriendZone Corp. Note, we are dealing with a beginner PHP developer and the application is not tested yet. Image name parameter is missed. Please enter it to show the image. Default image ID equals, and it looks like this is just the syntax that we need to use in order to call out to the quote-unquote image that we want to upload. That image could be a PHP reverse shell. So let's go ahead and get a PHP reverse shell set up. We can do that by copying one over from user share web shells, PHP, reverse shells, and we'll call ours saitama.php. And we need to edit that file to match our IP address. So let's ifconfig. We know we're 10.10.15.134, so let's clear that out. Let's spy and get that edited out. So we need to make ours 15.134. We can leave it at 1234 at the port. That's fine. We can work with that. So we'll go ahead and write that out to that file. And now we just need to upload that that file to a place that we can call it out for the quote-unquote image. And let's assume that that development share is where we need to upload that file, because we have read and write access and there was nothing really valuable in there for us, and we can just test the call out anyway. So we'll do curl upload file. We'll just curl the saitama.php file into the development share. So we'll do u root, and since it's SMB, we're going to do SMB 10.10.10.123 development, and it's going to go into that share. So it should ask for a password. We can just hit enter. It doesn't need to be a password, and we can assume that it's in there. We can double check by just listing it again and enumerating that share. So 10.10.10.123 development, and we see Saitama is now in our list here in the development share. So let's go ahead and exit, clear that out, and we should be able to, let's set up our netcat so that we can listen out for 1234 when we do the call out. And we might have to make a few changes, so this timestamp obviously is going to need a change. Let's go ahead and get LFI set up for us. And we're going to need to call it to etc development, and we want to call it to the file Saitama. And we don't need a pin.php because we should be in that share, so we should just be able to hit enter. It looks like it's working actually, so perfect. We are in the box now. So we have a reverse shell, so let's cd home and let's cat friend user.txt. Perfect. So now we have the user flag, and we can kind of just move on. And let's see, now we're back at the directory. We can check out that www directory and see that we have a mysql data.conf file, and it happens to have some credentials for us. So let's go ahead and copy those over, because those are going to be useful for SSH. And we'll actually create a file first. So let's just we'll call it SSH creds friend, and we'll go ahead. Oops, now you know better than that, Leon. So we'll go ahead and paste that file in there, and we should have perfect. Now we have that file for us, so we can go ahead and copy this password, and we'll clear this out. We can end our reverse shell because we no longer need it. Clear it. SSH friend at 10.10.10. Oops, 10.10.10.123. And the password, we have it on our clipboard, so we can just paste it and hit enter. And now we have an actual TTY shell. So great. Now we can use up and downs and all that great stuff too. So we're in the user.txt file, and we can just do a quick search for ps.aux, and we see the first thing we can actually check is that root is actually running a file under server admin in the op directory, server admin reporter.py. So that's the first thing we can check out. and let's go ahead and head that way. So we see that there's a server admin directory, and then it's just reporter.py. So let's go ahead and just read that file out and see what it says for us. So it looks like it's just a regular Python file. It imports the os.py file into this program. So it looks like it's just sending in an email to another address from admin2 to admin1. And then we have the last few lines are kind of commented out. So nothing too interesting there, but what we do know, we can do lsal, and all we have is read access, read permissions to that reporter.py file. So what we can do is we can check that os.py file and see if we have any further permissions since it imports it. So what we can do is something like we can actually go to that file, which is going to be at user lib python 2.7, and we have that os.py file right there. So what we can do with that is we can import some code into that os.py file to copy that root.txt flag over. So in order to do that, we would just do echo. It would be system, then cp root.txt, and we would copy it over to temp as root.txt. And what we can do is close that again. We want to append that to os.py. So that should be there now. And you can just cat it out if you want to make sure it's there. And what we'd do is we could just wait a few minutes for root to run that file again. And in the meantime, we can actually check out something that I know works as well. And that was, I was blessed upon entering this, I guess since it is the day that this machine retires. Someone has already added a pretty cool tool called PsPy, and what that does is it allows an unprivileged user the ability to snoop on Linux processes that are running without, obviously without root permissions. So what it does is basically it kind of shows in the background kind of what's running and who's running it, and we see that again that root is actually running this file every now and then, every few minutes. So we know through PsPy that they're running, that root is running reporter.py every few minutes. So kind of gives us another idea as to where we should be looking. I'm going to try to get back in that home folder real quick, and we'll just do friend, and we see that PsPy64 file over. The way you would get that over would be, we would need PsPy. So what we can do is actually, I don't think I have it anymore, so we can clone it into the directory. So git clone, paste, and we should have it there. Perfect, it's there. So we can, what we can do now is we can python-m SimpleHTTPServer, and any port really, but commonly it's 80. Now that we have that set up, what we can do is we can do a wget http, and it has to be our address since it's our local machine is the one that's setting up the HTTP server. It would be, I think I'm 15.134, and for instance, if we wanted to get PsPy, I mean, I guess we could just put another one in here. So it would be PsPy, and we could do that, and it would load PsPy, which ours would be this one since there's already one here. And then you could, let's see if it, you could run PsPy64, and it should start spitting out processes here. And you can just kind of sit around for a moment, and you see that the UID 0, which is root, is running admin reporter.py. And if you wait some more, you'll see that he does it again here shortly, or she, I'm sorry, and it just takes a moment. So once you're able to identify that the reporter.py is actually being ran by root, and that we have the ability to edit that os.py file, we should be able to go into where we told it to copy the root flag to, which is the temp directory, and we can get root.txt. So now we have rooted the box. And that's really about it. So that was us getting that root flag from FriendZone. If you have any questions or if you have any comments on that, or just want to let me know maybe a different way, that'd be perfect. Otherwise, I hope you really enjoyed it. Please let me know how I can improve on that. You can also check out my notes on GitHub. There will be a link in the description. And I believe that's it. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.